Is it going to be okay, Dad? This was the question that my son asked just last week as he and I were watching the news together. Story after story after story was sharing the coronavirus spread, was talking about the devastation to human lives, the challenges that it's placed on our healthcare system, what it's done to our markets, how it's crushing the economy. So this little boy looked up, longing for hope and seeking an answer not only to him, but to our entire community. We have created the Live Inspired Together channel, my friends. So welcome to the very first ever episode reminding Patrick O'Leary and now you that it may not be easy, but the best days are in front of us. Well, my friends, welcome to the very first ever episode of Live Inspired Together. You are part of history. Thank you for not only being part of it, but for helping us make it, because we sent out a request for evidence of helpers and heroes. And you flooded our inbox with exactly that. Apparently, there's not only helpers and heroes out there, there's an awful lot of little artists out there. One of the most common threads that we saw coming back were these examples of little artists. On the sidewalk, chalk was being used to remind people as they walked by, rode their bikes by, or maybe drove by, that there remains reason for hope, that there is beauty. They served as encouragement. They served as a guide. We received these little posts coming in from Heather Aurora. Heather, thank you for that. David Peckinpah, Shannon Wood, among many others. So thank you for that, and keep the chalk coming. Another thing that I thought was really cool is how many examples there were of teachers doing amazing things. Apparently there was no handbook before 2020 on how to respond to a global pandemic as an educator. And yet the teachers, the educators, the superintendents, the principals, and the professors have stepped forward in a mighty way. We got all kinds of submissions on how teachers were showing up in different ways to guide and inspire and encourage our little ones forward. Little ones being not only people who are 5 or 6 or 7 years old, but also some of our kids who are currently at college, whose lives have also been challenged dramatically during this time. One of my favorite submissions came in from Abilene, Texas. I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of the rap song. Here we go.
In this beautiful classroom, now you'll be in your pajamas as I video lecture on Zoom. We got this. Yeah, Corona's bringing some heat, but we're not gonna retreat, cause your learning's gonna be fine as we take this course online. Even now as I rhyme, looking like those dressed up sorts, little would you know that I'm really wearing shorts. I'm not stressed, y'all. Don't be stressed.
My friends, I just think it is so cool that a teacher, and it's happening all around the country and all around the world, would not only take the time to send out the new syllabus of what is going to take place over the next 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, but take the time to write a song. Take the time to put it to music. Take the time to put on a tie, a pair of shorts, jump in a pool, and remind the kids in the classroom that this is different than what we expected. But it doesn't mean it has to be worse. And it might in fact mean that it's going to be better tomorrow than we ever even imagined, because we're going to do this thing together. Now that may work as a college professor in Abilene wearing a tie and a pair of shorts to the pool. But what if you're a groom? What if you're a bride? What if you had this big ambition of having a big, beautiful wedding day, and then COVID-19 shows up? And then what if you decide to hold that party anyway, just without your friends and family around? So a much more limited celebration. That's exactly what took place in the backyard of a friend of mine's friend right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Limited groups, social distancing taking place. They say the words "I do," and then they hear honking. And then they hear tin cans rattling. And then they hear music blaring in the front of their house. And they are stunned at what they see when they look from the front door toward the street. I'm gonna let the video take it from here. My friends, as I age, I recognize that I'm becoming an easier cry. The Hallmark Channel will bring me to tears frequently. A good dog food commercial will get me. But when I saw that video of that young couple saying I do, and then making their way toward the sound of the honking and the horns and the tin cans being pulled and the music blaring, and then realizing that the party was for them. It reminded me of a little boy going home from the hospital, not sure what was going to happen in my own journey, and then getting closer to my own front door and realizing that there was a parade in my honor. It blew me away. It brought me to tears when I was a 9-year-old boy coming home from the hospital. And now today as a man looking at a new couple starting their life together, it brought me to tears again. And I thought, what better way to hopefully inspire you to realize that you are not alone during this period of isolation, that there is reason for hope during a period where everybody else is talking about despair, where there's reason to believe that your best days are in front of you, than to bring on a couple who just 3 days earlier were married. So now, without farther ado, I want to introduce you to my newest friends, Adam and Lily Zeider. I got to connect with them earlier this week. You can see the glow in both of their faces, and my hope is that not only do they keep it during their journey forward together, but that maybe we can catch a little bit of what they have. Lily and Adam Zeider, welcome to Live Inspired Together.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You have like a newlywed glow about you right now. What's that all about?
Three days in, but who's counting?
So you got engaged in New York City. You penciled out something 13 or so months in front of you thinking, it's going to be perfect. April's beautiful. Flowers are blooming. Life is awesome.
No, then the COVID happened. It started about a month ago. Our honeymoon was supposed to be in Italy. So we had the realization that was going to get canceled or pushed back. And then it just kept growing to pushing the wedding back. So
when did you decide that you had to essentially cancel the wedding with guests, but you decided to keep the actual ceremony?
At first we were like, whenever they started doing the like people restrictions to like lowering, we're like, okay, we're okay. Like we only have 200 people, like we'll still get in. And then it went down to 50, and then we were like, okay, so we'll make it work with 50. And then it dropped down to 10, and we were like, oh gosh.
What do we do?
And so like Adam's dad's going through chemo. Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. My dad's 74.
Yeah.
So we were like, we can't have our parents there. So I feel like that was the most emotional part of it, because I felt like so guilty and sad, but like all happy in the same day. And we wanted to still have that date just because it was so special to us. And so we had my two maid of honors and then his best man come and be our witness. And our friend Steve got ordained like at the last minute just so that he could marry us. And so it turned out to be a really special day.
And then it got even better because you go from live broadcasting this wedding to the masses to the front door. You look outside and describe for me what you saw.
It was wild. So like we said, we Zoomed the wedding for our family and friends. And then we went out on the back porch to pop a bottle of champagne, and we heard this wedding music playing. And we both kind of mentioned to each other, like, what's going on? And everybody said, go out front, go out front. And then like we went out front to a parade of all our friends and everybody driving down the street. It was incredible.
I'm an easy cry, but the first time I watched that, it just brought me to tears. It's so beautiful. It's so cool what friends, family will do, even during periods of great crisis. Tell me how it made you feel, Lily.
I was just shocked. Like I was speechless, and I was like, we legitimately have the best friends in the world, that they would just stop what they're doing. Not that they had a lot to do anyway with the times, but to think enough about us that they would come over and at least be able to participate in some way with keeping their distance, obviously. So it meant a lot to us.
Well, in addition to now officially being married, congratulations, Zeider family. You also, Lily, leave home and you go to work, and you work as a nurse with kids.
Yes. So I worked at Children's Hospital for 10 years, and obviously we've never experienced anything like this before, but it's kind of just like all hands on deck at this point, and everyone's just trying to pitch in. So,
well, you're pitching in not only with kids, which is of course my heart, but now you're also being called into the COVID unit. talk about how you feel when you are getting ready to scrub up and gown up and mask up to walk into a patient's room. Are you nervous? Is it just your job? What are the emotions you feel as you get ready to move into a room like this?
I definitely just kind of feel like I'm just going to work. I'll definitely take more care. Obviously, we're so used to washing our hands and wearing the right PPE no matter what virus it is, but obviously there's more like a heightened sense of awareness. So, I mean, I feel like this is just what we were called to do, and we're just going to keep doing our jobs and doing the best that we can.
Your marriage was beautiful. Did you have a first dance?
No, we didn't. We're saving.
We're trying to save as much as possible for the actual wedding ceremony that's going to hopefully take place in August. So
it's going to take place, Adam, in August. And are you allowed to tell us nationally what the first dance will be, or not yet?
It is Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
So it's one of his good love songs.
Well, congratulations to Frank Sinatra to have such an amazing couple select him and his music to remind the rest of us what love and life and togetherness and faithfulness looks like in action. So Adam, Lily, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for your service, and congratulations on your wonderful marriage.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
I'm looking forward to arriving back into your lives next week when we bring on the very important second episode of Live Inspired Together. Patrick, is it going to be okay? Yes. It's going to be okay, because the helpers, the good people, the heroes, the ordinary examples of evidence of real life, real courage, real faithfulness, real light, and real love remain alive and well, moving forward into the storm, lifting high their sails, reminding Patrick and the rest of us that our best days remain in front of us. My friends, if you want to be part of this program and share evidence of goodness from your own backyard, do me a favor, email us at together@johnolearyinspires.com. You can help shine a light on an ordinary or an extraordinary hero, reminding the entire community at large that it may not be easy, that the headwind is blowing, but the best remains in front of us. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary, and this is your day. Live inspired together.